Here's something interesting. The coin you're looking at might seem like an ordinary quarter, but it actually carries a piece of American history in your hands. This is a 1974 United States quarter dollar, a coin that millions of people used in everyday transactions. Yet, behind its simple appearance lies a story of history, design, and metal that has fascinated collectors for decades. This coin belongs to the United States of America and is officially known as the Washington Quarter. The Washington Quarter series first appeared in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of the birth of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Because of its popularity and symbolic meaning, the design continued for decades, including the 1974 version you see here. When we look at the front side of the coin, also called the obverse, we see the left-facing portrait of George Washington. This portrait was designed by the sculptor John Flanagan, whose work became one of the most recognized coin portraits in the world. Around the top of the coin, you can see the word liberty, which represents one of the most important values in American history. Just below the portrait appears the phrase, "In God we trust," a motto that has been used on United States coins for many years. Near the bottom of the coin, you can see the date, which tells us the exact year this coin was minted. If you look closely at the coin, you may also notice a small mint mark next to the date. Some coins from 1974 were produced in Philadelphia without a mint mark, while others were minted in Denver with a small D mark. These mint marks help collectors understand where the coin was produced and can sometimes affect its value. Now, let's turn the coin over to the reverse side. On the back of the 1974 quarter, we see a powerful image of a bald eagle with its wings spread wide. The eagle is standing on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing the nation's strength and readiness to defend itself. Beneath the arrows are two olive branches, representing peace. This balance between strength and peace is a powerful message that has been part of American symbolism for centuries. Above the eagle, you will see the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This phrase represents the unity of the states that together form the United States of America. Around the top edge of the coin, the words United States of America clearly identify the country that issued the coin. At the bottom, the value of the coin is written as quarter dollar, meaning it represents 1/4 of a US dollar, or 25 cents. One interesting thing about the 1974 quarter is the material it is made from. Older American coins used to contain a large amount of silver. But by the mid-1960s, the United States government changed the metal composition because silver became too expensive for everyday coins. As a result, the 1974 quarter is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. Copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers are made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, while the inside core is mostly copper. This layered structure gives the coin its silvery color while keeping production costs lower. If you look at the edge of the coin, you can sometimes notice a faint copper line. This happens because the copper core is sandwiched between the outer nickel layers. It's a small detail, but for coin collectors, it's an easy way to recognize modern clad coins compared to older silver ones. In 1974, millions of these quarters were produced because they were needed for everyday use in stores, vending machines, transportation, and many other parts of daily life in the United States. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, and the Denver Mint also produced a very large number. Because of this high mint, most 1974 quarters are still common in circulation and are usually worth their face value of 25 cents. However, that doesn't mean they are not interesting to collectors. Coin collectors often look for coins in excellent condition, especially those that have never been circulated. A 1974 quarter that still has its original mint luster and sharp details can be more valuable than one that has been used for decades. The shine you sometimes see on a well-preserved coin is known as mint luster. This natural shine comes from the microscopic lines created during the minting process. When the metal is struck by the coin dies under high pressure. Some collectors also search for error coins. A mint error happens when something unusual occurs, During the production process, for example, a coin might be struck slightly off, or it might have doubled lettering, die cracks, or other unusual features. If a 1974 quarter has a noticeable mint error, it could attract interest from collectors and sometimes sell for more than its normal value. Another thing collectors pay attention to is the grade of the coin. Coin grading is a system used to describe the condition of a coin. Coins with very little wear and strong details can receive high grades, while coins that have been heavily circulated usually receive lower grades. Professional grading services sometimes encapsulate coins in protective holders and assign them an official grade, which can increase their value in the collector market. Even though the 1974 quarter is not considered extremely rare, it still represents an important part of American coin history. For more than half a century, coins like this have passed through the hands of millions of people. They have been used in shops, saved in piggy banks, dropped into vending machines, and sometimes kept as small historical souvenirs. What makes coins fascinating is that they combine art, history, and everyday life. A small piece of metal can tell a story about a nation, its leaders, its values, and even its economic decisions. The Washington quarter is a perfect example of this idea. It shows the face of one of America's most respected presidents and carries symbols that represent both strength and peace. If you ever come across a 1974 quarter in your change, take a moment to look at it closely. Notice the portrait of George Washington, the eagle on the back, and the details that make the design unique. Even though it may only be worth 25 cents in everyday use, it still holds historical and artistic significance. Many coin collectors actually start their collections with coins like this. Because quarters are easy to find, they are a great way to learn about coin design, mint marks, and the history of currency. Over time, collectors often begin to search for better condition examples, unusual varieties, or coins from specific years and mints. The 1974 Washington quarter reminds us that even ordinary objects can carry stories from the past. It connects modern life with decades of American history, craftsmanship, and national symbolism. From the portrait of George Washington to the powerful eagle on the reverse, every element of the design reflects ideas that have shaped the identity of the United States. So the next time you see a quarter like this, don't just think of it as spare change. Look a little closer. You might be holding a small but meaningful piece of history that has traveled through time and across countless hands before reaching yours.